So, good morning, everybody.
Hola.
I'm Kevin Mcfadden.
Jerry Currier.
We're the Tri-County DVOPS.
Yeah, there we go. Get the through. There we
We
go.
have our guest today, Angelica.
Hi.
What? It's not every day you get Angelica in the house.
Just saying, had to make it here
Yeah.
with my favorite people.
Her peeps.
So, just to remind everybody, Jerry and I are veteran workforce specialists with the state of Arizona. We're with Arizona at Work here in Sierra Vista.
Yep.
We cover Cochise, Graham, and Greenlee County.
Yeah.
Our primary office is at 2600 East Wilcox Drive in Sierra Vista. The number is 520-458-9309. And as of right now, Thursdays and Fridays, we have coverage here at the Warrior Healing Center.
Yeah.
At least one of us will be here, and that is 1838 Paseo San Luis in Sierra Vista.
Yep. Well, and if you live in Graham or Greenlee County, please give us a call, 458-9309, like Kevin was saying. If you need help with a resume, or you just have questions, or training, whatever, give us a call, and hopefully we'll be able to point you in the right direction. Just to kind of start off, it's kind of been this is our first podcast for the year.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're special.
You saved the best for first,
I know.
Kind
right?
We kind of had a cold.
Yeah. Wink, wink. We were out of work for a month.
Yeah.
We won't get political, but yeah, we were working from home for a month. That was not fun at all. Not fun. No bueno. But yeah, it's been kind of already been a challenging year so far.
Yeah.
Only 2 months into the year.
Yeah.
So one of the things, if you've first time watching, hopefully you'll continue. But we talk about veteran issues, veteran employment. We have guest speakers, which we'll get to that here in a real quick second. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate. Give us a call. You have concerns or whatever, you're having issues. Say you're applying for jobs and your resume, you don't hear back. Bring your resume. Maybe it's just a simple little thing for us to look over and we could fix or whatever. But if you are looking for work, come on down. Talk to Kevin and I. Say you have an offer letter and you might need some stuff, come on down. We have what we call our veteran toolkit, where we have the ability to purchase items to get you that first paycheck. So give it a shot. Reach out to us. Let us spend some money on you. It's kind of fun to spend money. It really is, especially when it's the government. So, let us do something nice for you, and all that other fun stuff. And if you just want to come hang out, that's cool. Come down to the Warrior Healing Center, and we'll have a cup of coffee and talk veteran stuff, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And just tell Kevin he's pretty. He likes hearing it. So, without further ado, our guest today.
Man, I'm thinning.
Yeah, you are. You kind of thinning there. Yeah. Told you to grow your hair out.
I'm gonna get $1 can of Blackberry paint.
Or just
I'm
start
thrifty.
getting hair implants. So, gonna introduce to you our guest, this amazing lady. We've known her for how many years?
Oh, too many now.
A
Do we
long
need
time.
to age ourselves now?
So that means she's had to put up with us.
Yeah. I know it's not easy. But no, it's over.
It'll be, to be honest, I think it's coming up to 10 years. Maybe because Kevin started a little later, but you were at the beginning when I started. So
Yeah, so it's been a long time. And
it'll be 10 years. Yeah.
you were...
This October.
Wow, that's awesome. That's freaking amazing. Jesus. We watched her grow up.
Oh, no! The tears, wipe the tears away.
Oh, my God.
Remember when she went off to college?
No.
She's married, has a family. Oh my God! Responsible career.
I mean,
It's kind of sad.
you guys seen it all.
So background, business.
Business, nonprofit work, some sales, but huge
Yeah.
heavy into nonprofit work.
So why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and what got you where you're at today?
So I came here to Sierra Vista because my dad's retired military, right? He chose Fort Huachuca, as many people do. And so stayed, went to high school here, went to high school, so an alumni there. And then went to Northern Arizona University, where I graduated in speech communication with my bachelor's. And then went to work in Phoenix for a little bit, got tired of the heat, came down to Sierra Vista, where I started the nonprofit work in high school, volunteered a lot for nonprofits, helped with Relay for Life there. In college, I started Relay for Life, helping out with that. And then I started the Student Philanthropy Council of Northern Arizona University, which also helped create the senior class gift. And that's still going on today, both of those organizations. And what they do is they help students who want to give back to their communities or get involved in nonprofit work, right? They find places to volunteer, to be involved. And then the senior class gift allows current seniors who are leaving NAU to donate some funds so that way a junior can get a scholarship so they can finish their education, which is so unique, right? Because most require you to be freshmen or first-time students, even if you're transferring from a community college to a four-year college. They still want you to be like that first time. So that was very unique that we did that. And so many scholarships get given for that. So that's really great that that's still going. Then came here, worked in the workforce industry, and then helped co-found Coachy Serving Veterans, which is also still going on today. They just had their resource fair not too long ago as well. And it's so great that it's still a community event. It's countywide. Then I went to work for Goodwill for a little bit, which was fun. Because for the longest time, I was always on the business side, right? Helping the nonprofits understand there. And then when I was with Goodwill, it was on the job seeker side. So you got to see more direct services, right? You directly dealt with their needs, which is what you guys do. What they do, sitting there with the resumes, helping them understand. It was so unique, but it made me miss even more like the outreach and awareness that you can get. So that's why I left and I went to go work for the Alliance of Arizona Nonprofits, which is what I'm doing now. And uniquely in my role is the rural development manager, is to take this organization and expand it into those rural markets that we should have a reach for. And that's what we're doing here today, to talk more about the Alliance, to talk more about one of their main grants that they're running for AmeriCorps, Vista, and all the great things, and how veterans can take advantage of this.
What are the complexities with what you do in a rural area? What are the challenges versus, say, Tucson?
Yeah, so we are housed, the Alliance of Arizona Nonprofits is like a chamber of commerce for nonprofits. We do a membership base where we encourage all nonprofits in the states to join. So it creates like this network for nonprofits, right? And we do advocacy work so that if you have a collective voice and you're able to get things passed, you're able to get the education you need. We develop our programs or trainings based on nonprofits specifically. Like one of our big ones is business on board. So your board members, you can structure your boards, train them, so you have an effective nonprofit. Right? And you have a board that's supportive and active and helping you. And so we do all kinds of trainings like that. A lot of them are done virtually, actually all of them right now. So anyone in the state can participate. So the difference is from like when we were housed in Phoenix and then you have some support in Tucson, Flagstaff's also a big city, right? When you go outside of those areas, you have internet connectivity issues, right? You have smaller organizations to where one person is the CEO, the board president, and the front desk manager, right? Or you have organizations that are solely 100% volunteer ran, like the Tombstone Food Bank. Even though they have a set office manager, that's a volunteer position. There's not a single paid position in that organization.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
And you don't realize how many more nonprofits in the rural areas are like that. And you're thinking, but they're so effective. How is that possible?
Yeah.
Like, because these people are retired or they're just passionate and this is like their second job almost. They don't care about being paid. They just want to help.
Yeah.
And that's great, but that's what makes it harder when reaching these rural markets is they're unique. They function differently than those big corporate organizations or the ones you would find in metro areas.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and we find, working with veterans in rural areas, there's we're fortunate to have the Warrior Healing Center because we have a huge network of nonprofits that we can link up with. But prior to that, the majority of our veteran assistance was Tucson. And we still have, If you're going to get a HUD VASH for the housing, I mean that comes from Tucson. You know,
exactly.
So and getting those resources, you know, because Sierra Vista, as far as Cochise County, is the big dog. You know, so now you get further out, Elfrida, Wilcox. You know, there becomes some internet connectivity issues, and then of course travel distance,
transportation.
You know?
Do you see a shift, like Kevin brought up, with what you're doing, that we don't have as a rural county where we don't have to rely on, say, Tucson as an example, that we're getting more self-contained, we're able to work together, where we don't have to rely on major help from the cities?
Yeah, I think we do, and I think most rural communities have that. They are very supportive as a whole. Like, even if you go to Kingman, or if you were to go to Yuma, which is also technically a big city, but because it's so outlying, it functions almost as its own, right? That the communities are really supportive, so they don't need to go to Tucson or Phoenix to get all this stuff. But what the Alliance does is we want to make sure the nonprofits are still receiving the training, so they can still continue to get those community volunteers to help out. They can still get better, maybe, marketing strategies to expand outside of their small region, and they can expand their mission if they want to, or they can, whatever they're struggling with, maybe find different ways to help so they don't have those issues. They can still get funding in if that's something they're looking for. So that's the goal of involving the rural markets.
And from a veteran standpoint, what are the benefits for veterans? I mean, what is there for veterans? I mean,
yeah. So specifically, there's not any like veteran focused work. It's just, we know a lot of veterans, especially in the Sierra Vista community, have nonprofits, right? Like you said, the Warrior Healing Center is literally just all nonprofits that are based here. And so nonprofits should work with other nonprofits, regardless of their mission, regardless of who's a part of it, to just help themselves, help each other, right?
I think it's win-win at the end of the day. It's all geared towards to help people.
Correct.
To help veterans, whatever, for maybe housing or food or whatever the issue is. And I think that's the importance of, like what you do, you know, trying to get everybody under the same umbrella, and we could be a lot more effective.
Yes.
And it's interesting, I was in a meeting last week, and I didn't realize this, is, you know, traditionally we do our outreach with, say, the DAV, VFW, you know, the major veteran organizations, which we should be. However, there's so many, it was just like, oh my goodness, there's a lot of organizations out there that we didn't know about, and we're still finding out. And so, and that's what's just fascinating. I didn't realize there was that many nonprofits in, say, Cochise County.
We stopped at Sahara on the way back from Tucson, and we knew about Sahara as a food bank. We knew they had the thrift store, but what we didn't realize is everything is donated, and anything they sell, they use that money. That money stays in the county.
Yes.
You know, whereas the Goodwills, Salvation Armies, you know, it's
kind of divided up among all their services.
And which is nice because they were telling me that they delivered a stove to a family in Douglas. I mean, that's coming from Huachuca City all the way to Douglas. You know, sometimes we forget about Douglas, Arizona, because it's really so far to the east, and you know, and it's, you know, they like to kind of keep to themselves anyways. But yeah, we thought that was great. So, you know, my wife's tearing apart our house right now, so it looks like I'll be donating to Sahara.
But it's that stuff, and you're right. It's shocking to see how many nonprofits are in rural communities. Like Benson has a nonprofit that's specific for bird sanctuaries, and they actually get nationwide donations and support.
That's
because
amazing.
they have the area and the infrastructure to support these birds, and you know, nationwide they've been able to, with the help of the Alliance, right, expand their reach. And then Snowflake, Arizona has an insane amount of nonprofits up there as well, and they're really small, right? And it's so these rural people have this passion to want to help, so join a larger alliance so you guys can connect and get your word out and share your missions.
And you're right, networking is very key to be successful. And you know, I honestly didn't really realize to the extent what your organization does is very impressive. It really is. And how long have you been with these guys?
I started in August.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
so
still
cool.
still really new.
What do they have? Hooves for vets, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a veteran that has anxiety, depression, maybe PTSD. That's a barrier to employment. Well, maybe counseling is not what that individual needs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's going and riding horses.
Or
and then all of a sudden,
bird sanctuary.
Yeah, and maybe that helps them get through that barrier. So it's another place for us to refer that veteran. As we get to know them, they go, "Man, I love horses." Like, "Well, did you know?" Or
because what's super awesome.
Don't tell anybody, but I love bird watching. It's like, well,
yeah.
Did you know?
What's great as for Chamber of Commerce, they promote their members, right? That's what the Alliance is going to do too. So if you become a member, you have a directory. So you can basically use that as another web-based reference. So if you don't have your own website, Facebook and stuff, you can say, hey, well, I have what the Alliance has to get you started as well. And then you have the directory there if you're a member to help making those referrals. Well, let's check here and see what other nonprofits can maybe help you.
Yeah. And I mean, and for us, part of our job is with removing the barriers to employment is we're supposed to work with our community partners. Those nonprofits are our community partners.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
You're right. It's interesting. Kind of like what we were talking about before the show, is trying to think outside the box as far as the veteran goes, to place that veteran with like-minded organizations to where maybe the retention. Maybe that veteran finds employment or they're volunteering and they're beyond happy. They want to stay there till they retire.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's interesting because, like you were saying, Kevin was saying, there's so many different nonprofits. It's just insane. And so if you're interested in volunteering, this is the list or what's.
Oh, and that's what's super great too. So the Alliance also has pages with a fee that you can post your jobs on. So there'll be only nonprofit jobs that are listed on that site.
Oh, wow.
And then they have one for volunteers. So you can list the volunteers positions you have and what you're seeking for your nonprofit. We
saw a lot of that at the Community Resource Fair.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? The Cochise Connections?
Yeah.
That was, wow. We had 70 people come by the Arizona work table.
That's awesome.
It was at Ethelberger. We were running out of the job fair flyers. We kept having to beg for copies. But it was kind of like a veteran resource fair, but for everyone. And they're going to do that once a month, first Tuesday of the month, for the next 5 months there. And so we were like, well, we're going to be there because I talked to 8 veterans. All 8 have been through the Warrior Healing Center. And some just needed to volunteer. But, yeah, there were a lot of seniors that said, I just want to volunteer. Yeah. And it was, well, here. And so that would be great. Another venue to give them hey, let me get you on this website. Here you go. Sign up. Yeah. And so another thing, too, that they can potentially take part in is the Vista Program. So AmeriCorps is right service to America, where they have different funding positions. You can be AmeriCorps itself, you can be AmeriCorps Senior, or you can be a Vista or a summer associate. And a Vista stands for Volunteer in Service to America, and it was started in the 60s to help with the war on poverty. Interesting. And so this was that program that they created to put these volunteers in these poverty-stricken communities and help prevent it, help decrease it. And the goal of the Vista themselves, actually, they get paid a stipend for housing, which is very small, and a wage that is equal to what someone living in poverty is. Because their also goal when they started the program was saying you can't help someone in a situation if you've not been in that situation. Interesting. So it creates that as well. And then the Vistas serve for 1 full year. So it's 365 days. It's not based on hours. It's 365 days with an organization. And the way the Alliance Vista program works is that they're placed in a rural community. So that's also, because that's where a lot of the need tends to be. So they place them in those rural communities. They get their poverty wages, and they help with one specific project for the organization for building the capacity, starting a training program, something that will help the focus of the community. They hope to get community people involved so that everyone has buy-in for what this project is, with the goal of just helping people.
and people get to serve. And to serve for the Vista, you just have to have a college degree and be willing to serve.
Interesting.
That's the only requirements we have. And what's really cool is, for veterans who are aware, in Kingman, Arizona, there is a Jerry Ambrose Veterans Center. Right? If you don't know about it, definitely check into it. It's a really cool, first of its kind organization that started. And we have a Vista that's serving there right now. And part of the work they've done is help with their resource fair up there and get community volunteers to be a part of that.
That's awesome.
Right. So it's really great. So we do have veterans who have been a part of the Vista program. And you serve all throughout the state of Arizona. So right now, we have someone who's looking in Wilcox, actually at the Wilcox Theater, and the city of Wilcox in their economic development department. So if you wanted to serve a little more local, but we're looking for one right now with Arizona at Work in Navajo County.
Nice. Really?
So yeah.
And I think what's interesting, when you look at the veteran community as a whole, you'll see a lot of veterans that like to give back to their community.
Yes.
That volunteer, or again, maybe a nonprofit or whatever. And there's a lot of opportunities for them to get to be active, to do something that maybe they're very passionate about. And it is, when you look at certain barriers that certain veterans have, they may be a great fit for some of these organizations.
Yeah, and it's a great way to get, so a lot of the people who become Vistas are fresh out of college, right? Because they don't necessarily want a gap year, but they're still like, I need help getting experience in the career field I want, so this gives me that opportunity. Or they're like, I still want to serve and volunteer before I have to settle down in that sense, right? So that's what they do. But also, there are people who, like you said, are retired already, and they still want to give back. So we have someone who's serving right now with the Green Valley Chamber of Commerce, she's had a thriving business career, and she has her degree, and she just said, you know what? This opportunity sounds great. I want to give back to my community.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So there's no age limit. It just have your degree and be willing to serve.
That is so awesome. It really is. So with how many how many different 501c3s are there in Cochise County?
Oh, that I don't know specifically, but as previously working here directly in the communities, I know it's a good number.
Or let me ask you, what are the varieties of nonprofits?
Oh, there's so many. I know there's a lot of veteran stuff. Like I said, there's a bird sanctuary, right? They have a Hispanic focus in Douglas. It's a lot. Because you say 501c3, but then you have to look at the chambers are technically nonprofits. Yeah. Generally like a 501. And that's the thing with the Alliance, you're just a nonprofit. It's not 501c3 specific designation. It's any 501cs that
is so cool.
Want to be a part, because they all serve their communities, right?
Yeah. And I think what's kind of neat is that with they're trying to revitalize their communities. They're trying to diversify their communities. They're trying to take advantage of what is there, so like birds, Yeah. And it is amazing. You look at our environmentally here in Cochise County. It's a very diverse environment.
Yes.
So never really gave it much thought about the different things that are located here, and it's just amazing. It really is.
Like javelinas in your front yard.
Yeah, I hate those things.
Your dog's barking at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, my dog goes insane. Yeah, it's like, what are you gonna do? It's a javelina. What are you gonna do?
The pups are cute.
Yeah, they're cute.
But it is diverse, and so there are many nonprofits to help with the different areas. Like you said, right? One of the things is the horses for therapy. Yeah. Right. So it's a huge variety of stuff that people can take advantage of, and this help gives awareness. And another great way to get awareness with the Alliance is Arizona Gives Day. And that's taking place this year on April 5th and 6th. It's 24-hour fundraising, so from noon to noon. And what's really cool about Arizona Gives Day, any nonprofit can participate. You do not have to be a member of the Alliance, but any nonprofit can participate. And it gives you, this is the coolest stuff with Arizona Gives Day. I know, I'm gonna start nerding out here. So
wait, this podcast.
Wait, there's more.
So when you register for Arizona Gives Day, you pay your fee, and it gives you a profile on there, right? The profile comes with a donate button. that donate button can be embedded onto your own personal website, so you don't have to have separate fundraising things and all these other cash stuff you're trying to worry about and going through. Bam, one site took care of it for you. So that's a benefit there. In addition, Arizona Gives Day stays up all year long. So we encourage it on the day of Arizona Gives Day, as well as Giving Tuesday in November, but it stays up all year long. So you can fundraise for your organization all year long, and anytime you have a major fundraiser you're already doing, that can be your donate section for it.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, and the benefit of it is, again, it ties to that whole network of nonprofits working together. So the Alliance puts out all the nonprofits in the state are fundraising for 24 hours. So literally, awesome. We've had donors who've gone in and given to like 8 to 10 organizations at once, different organizations, because they're there, and it's a convenience of being, this is my passions, these are who I want to give to. So it's convenient for donors, it gives awareness for the nonprofits, and it's fun. Like, everyone in the whole state is like, we care about our nonprofits, let's donate and give and fundraise together. Like, that's fun.
It was never a dull day at work.
No, I have a passion for nonprofits or what?
No. I don't think she has a passion. I really don't.
You need to cheer up a little bit. Yeah, okay. Bringing the room down.
And we say Walter breaks the sound barrier.
Oh, I know, right?
Just lost all. No. So, I mean, it's really cool. It really is. And so, if a veteran, how would a veteran get started?
Yes. So, if you are a nonprofit, veteran organization, you'd want to go to the Alliance website, Arizona Nonprofits, and look at our stuff. You can reach out membership. My email is angelicahw@arizonanonprofits.org. You can reach out to me directly, and I can get you in touch with our membership team. Also, if you're interested on the Vista, you go to the same website, and there's a little page there for Vista, and you can learn all more about it, how to apply. You can also reach out to me again if you have questions on that, so we can share it, on what that is, and that's really it.
Well, there is one more thing.
Super easy, right?
There is one more thing.
Yeah.
And
are we going to talk about the awesome Teresa? We haven't done that yet.
Oh, yeah, she is amazing. I owe her a major apology today, so I have been calling and apologizing.
He went truck driver.
Yeah, I went truck driver in a meeting. I feel bad. Yeah. So, went knuckle dragger, so I apologize, Teresa. You're an awesome manager, greatest boss a person could ever have, yada, yada, yada.
I was doing this the whole time.
Yeah. It was awful. But anywho, so with that, Chips and Chat, one of the greatest Facebook Live things.
Man, so that's a personal project.
It's a cool project.
Yeah, and
you
it's
used
just
to do that in the office.
Something fun. Yeah, I have it here and there occasionally. We now have a Facebook group called Chips and Chat. It's just sharing food reviews. Literally, like of all kinds of
started off with
stuff.
Oreos.
Yeah.
What many chicken sandwiches is she gonna have?
I know.
Different.
So what they're referring
Girl
to?
Scout cookies.
We started.
I like that one.
We celebrate national food holidays too, and so we'll review to find the best in the area, or just highlight, that fun food.
You've been doing that for about 4 years.
When we moved into the new office.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
yeah.
It started off. Try this Oreo.
Yeah, it
that
did.
Looks kind of gross, Angelica. I don't want to do it.
And we do some fun foods that are out there. Tons of different candies.
And you used to have guests on.
We did. I've had a few still, like you saw with the Girl Scouts, right? Mm-hmm. Adam, my husband, joins me occasionally on some of these. I tell him you can't eat it unless you go on with me, so that kind of helps encourage it.
Adam, eat this.
Right? But I wanted to have more guests. It's a fun way to connect with people over food, right? To say, while we're talking, let's eat something crazy together.
It's a neat icebreaker.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah. Well, last time I was here, we had chips.
Yeah, when you decide to do different steaks, we're in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love it when, and I get a kick out of it, you don't do it all the time. Your hamburger tasting tours.
Oh my gosh, yes! So this is great. Another personal note, my best friend is getting married. He is getting married in Chicago because that's where her side of the family's from. That's going to be in April. And so I will be having a burger then in April to let you guys know
awesome
where the burger in Chicago is going to be.
Amazing.
And their pizza, if you don't go to Chicago and try their deep dish pizza, did you go to Chicago?
You're a communist.
Did you go?
Did you try the pizza? No, it's just Chicago's awesome. But yeah, it always amazes me, and I think it's the coolest thing in the world. All your little projects, it's just kind of neat. You're all over the place. Of course Angelica's here in Phoenix doing whatever. We just talked to her 8 hours ago. You're all over the state, breaking us,
Just everywhere traveling, right? And that's the thing. That's my job too, to travel the state. So hopefully I get to eat more food while I'm doing that.
She doesn't take naps like us.
No, not at all. Yeah. It's awesome. Well, I think it's kind of cool what you do. There's like I said, there's just so much out there, and sometimes veterans like, well,
take advantage of it, right? And that's the thing. Build the awareness so people know you're there. Mm-hmm. We, like I said, typically, we're based in Phoenix, but we're the Arizona Alliance, right? So it's all nonprofits everywhere in the state. We're here for you.
Nice. Word.
And what about you guys? How's work?
Yeah, we're
staying pretty busy.
Yeah.
Wow, good.
It's interesting because, I was reading something, I think it was a couple days ago. The veteran population has been increasing. I think we're at 11.9% or something like that. But what's interesting is that a lot of the veterans that we see, because, be careful how I say this, because of, our activities lately in the last 20 years, you see a lot of veterans shifting as far as employment opportunities go. Traditionally, maybe working for the government, stuff like that. And yes, there's still a lot that want to do that. But you see veterans thinking outside the box on careers.
Yeah, what they want to do. A lot more veteranpreneurs.
Yeah, veteranpreneurs. It's really amazing. Yeah. So sometimes a veteran will come in and say, hey, look, I want to do this. Well, your background might be, intelligence or something, but you want to go to, say, bird watching. Yeah. Why? So it's interesting. Or they're going to do a little small business startup or, and if you all,
that's incredible.
Yeah. You look at all the different coffee companies that are starting or clothing. There's just a lot of veteran-owned stuff, and they're thinking outside the box. Yeah. And that's what I think is interesting. And one of the things I tell my clients, I think what's fascinating with the veteran community is I feel, and this is what I tell my clients, is I think a veteran has the ability to reinvent themselves fairly easily. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, so because we're always changing. We're moving here. You may enlist for this job, but you get here and you're doing this job. I have a certain client, him very well, going to school right now. Totally opposite what he did in the military.
Right.
And that's kind of interesting. And, and that's what we're starting to see a lot more of. Thinking outside the box what they want to do. They're passionate about, I saw on Facebook, there's this soldier just got promoted 3rd ID. Loves woodworking. That's what he does. Is he builds furniture.
Wow.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. So, and that's what I find so fascinating about the veteran community. It's a very diverse group of people, and they have a hobby and they wind up making money out of it. It's just kind of neat. It really is.
Yeah. So we're learning as we go because the workforce is since really the start of COVID. It was, there's all kinds of different theories why people were going back to work and weren't going back and changing careers. And you can't just put a pin on one thing. Yeah. It was all of the above, and, because some people learned to do without. And they said, well, I don't need that other source of income. Or others said, I hated my job. I was at home. I started going to school. I'm just going to finish this and reinvent myself.
Yeah.
You know, and then there were others that just, they wait for the boss to call them back up. And, all right, I'll be there Monday. You know.
Wow,
and I think in the post-COVID world, if I could say that right.
I say we're there now.
Yeah, I think we're there post-COVID world. But what's fascinating, I was watching something on the news a while back, and they were talking to a representative from Indeed. And it is interesting because a lot more people are leaving the workforce. And I'm not going to lie, kind of working virtual, I thought I would hate it, but actually I wound up kind of enjoying it. Mm-hmm. I really did, for me. And you're starting to see this shift happening that is kind of cool, that people are realizing, you know, hey, if I can just turn my bedroom into a little office, and they're happier, you know.
Yes.
I thought at first, you know, from a mental health standpoint, would that be good or bad? But you're starting to see people's like, you know, I really dig this whole working from home thing.
Yeah, so cool with the Alliance. When COVID hit, everyone has to go to work from home, and they have kept us working from home, but it helps benefited. So we have a member who was in Northern Arizona. She's since moved closer to Phoenix. And then there's one who's way up there in Western, you know, Arizona, and then I'm here in Southern. And so it also helps create that presence. So when you have networking events, you're like, oh, you're the team member who's closest, go for it.
Yeah.
Right? So it helps expand that reach. Everyone's a little happier. We meet virtually, you know, once or twice a month on team meetings. So you still have that connection going on. Like, it's really great how you could still be virtual and serve as a team.
Yeah.
Like, it's really helped. And then cool, the Vista, AmeriCorps as a whole is, like, so this is like statewide, not just specific to Arizona, is now allowing their Vista members also to serve virtually. It's dependent on the position, right? Because the business has to be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But overall, more and more you're seeing are allowing that. So a Vista can still serve in poverty or serve a poverty-related project, but they don't have to worry about relocating. So they can, if they have to, live at home still while still helping someone, right? So it's a benefit.
Yeah.
So you work virtual. You've not worked virtual. Which do you prefer?
I think it was based more on it's a mix of everything. So I'm obviously an outgoing person, right? Have a passion for this work.
She is not.
So engaging with the community, engaging with people has definitely been something I miss, right? Like, because when you go into the office, you have that daily, right, interaction. You can share a little more. But people are more encouraging of virtual, so it's people don't call me. Like, people, I got rarely asked, what's your phone number? I've been since August. I don't know my phone number still because everyone wants to meet via Zoom.
Yeah.
So it still gives you that virtual, even if it's a 15-minute phone call or a 30-minute, you know, something quick, it's via Zoom, not, hey, what's your phone number? Or when are you available to meet virtually? And I'm like, oh, I still get to meet people and work at home. So that has helped that. If it was just a traditional, like, I guess pre-Zoom, right? And it was just more of, oh, here I am signing into this meeting, or here I am making sure, I don't know if I would have enjoyed that.
It's been interesting. It's been a very interesting change because, you know, at first I hated Zoom meetings. And they kind of grow on you.
Yes.
Because I think as human beings, we are interaction, you know, face to face. And it took a little bit to get used to talking to your camera or whatever. But I mean, honestly, looking at it now versus a year ago, there's some pros and cons, and I honestly agree with both sides. But I didn't think it didn't turn out to be as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, plus the amount of money you save on gas. Yeah. Even though we live in a small community here, the commute weren't like extensive like on the East Coast. It still adds up, right?
Yeah, it does.
Right.
Especially when you're paying almost $4 a go.
And I'll be honest, I'm on time now.
Really?
My commute is the shortest it's ever going to be.
Weird. We had a meeting 4 hours ago. But you know what's amazing? Knowing that you still enter dramatic flair.
Ta-da! I came in today with candy for them. So,
I know, it's awesome.
Always
it's
a thank
just
you.
So amazing.
So she'll be on more often.
Because I always bring gifts when I come.
And how can you be upset? You're 4 hours late for a meeting, but you're just you. And it's like,
you still get the work done. You still like, hey, what did I miss? You know?
Thank you for coming on today.
This was fantastic. Thank you for letting me share about the new work.
Well, we learned a lot too.
So, no, you're right. Yeah, it's just.
Oh, we talked about veterans wanting to start their own stuff.
Yes.
The Alliance does offer online. It's free. A how to start a nonprofit like workbook instructional thing. So it doesn't. The Alliance itself doesn't offer any funding directly. We are an intermediary in that sense, right? So we'll give you the resources to look, to get you in touch maybe with some organizations. The Legacy Foundation here in Sierra Vista, the Community Foundation of Southern Arizona, the Arizona Community Foundation do have direct grants they give out. Local First Arizona is also another great resource if you're looking for grants or need help with writing a grant. So those, if you are wanting to start one, that's the place to kind of go to. But the Alliance is more on the educational side of how to start it, how to run it, how to manage your board, how to get your board on board.
Board on board. Awesome.
Like those kind of educational resources. And then we are looking at bringing back our virtual / in-person, depending on membership networking stuff.
Interesting.
So that stuff is all coming in.
That is so cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So you guys got the word today. If you're a veteran looking to get involved with nonprofits or start a nonprofit, get in touch with Angelica. She has all the answers.
The Alliance of Arizona Nonprofits, AmeriCorps Vista Program as well, Angelica HW at ArizonaNonprofits.org. And there you
go. Or if you just want resume help or find out what jobs are available, or if you have questions, say you're trying to find out how to start disability rating or whatever, veteran-related questions, come on down to 2600 East Wilcox Drive, the Cochise College Downtown Center. Phone number there is 520-458-9309. Or if you want to come on down to the Warrior Healing Center, amazing. Just stay away from the crypto guys, those guys. But just come on down. We're here Thursdays and Fridays. If you are in one of the Tri-County areas, Cochise, Graham, Greeley, go to your local Arizona at work. Ask to speak to a DVOP, Jerry or Kevin, and they'll get you in the right direction.
Yep.
Anything else?
We'll come to you.
Yeah. So. We'll hop in the G Ride or the Exploder and head out.
That's right.
Make mission happen.
Yeah.
Well, Angelica, thank you. It's always a pleasure having you. It's not a dull moment. Never a dull moment.
Nonprofits are exciting, right?
They are. No, they're very fascinating.
Yes.
Because there's such a diverse group.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought nonprofit, okay, blah, blah, blah. But, oh, no, it's just so cool. It really is.
We're the cool kids.
You are. We're just a government entity. We're the man.